All right, great to see everybody here. We sure appreciate you being here. Short week turnaround after a Monday night game. We finished the game less than 48 hours ago, and we're back at it. And our guys were in today, very attentive, very on point, with a mindset to get locked in and get ready for a big division game on Sunday at 1 o'clock in Cleveland. We've had many tough battles in Cleveland with Cleveland. Very physical football team, very aggressive football team, a very hungry football team, and we understand that. Tough environment always, especially for the Ravens. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited about the opportunity. And the other thing I mentioned is we had 3 former Ravens that made the top 50 for Hall of Fame induction. So congratulations to those guys, Sis, Terrell Suggs, Marshall Yanda, and Haloti Nada. Those guys are well-deserving, and in my mind, they have my vote. I don't have one, but they have my vote for first ballot Hall of Famers. So what questions do you have?
John, we saw Keaton Mitchell out there. His 21-day window is starting. Do you expect them to? Is there a timetable on when he would return? Do you think it's going to take the full 21 days? Anything that you know?
I think that's all a good question. You really don't know anything. I don't expect him to be back this week. In all honesty, not that. Hey, you never know. We'll see how he looks tomorrow when we're out there full speed. But he's been away quite a while, so we want to get him going, get him moving, get him practicing football, and get him ready. Hopefully within the 3-week window. That would be the goal for sure.
John, what's the kind of benchmark for him, not just being out there today, but then that 3-week window to kind of be out there for good?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the goal, that we would want him back. Sure, we want him back at the 3-week window at the latest. That would be the benchmark, I would think. Something before that would be great,
Sorry, what would be the litmus test?
The litmus test? Oh, that he practices well. He can make all the change of direction cuts. He can be productive, but also he can protect himself. It's probably the most important thing, that we feel like he's strong enough to protect himself. That'd be the number one thing.
John, Cleveland's announced that Jameis Winston will start quarterback. You've seen a little bit of him, but I'm sure you've seen a lot of him over the years. What's your perception of him?
Yeah, very talented guy. He's a guy that our coaches have our offensive coaches have a lot of connection with. Danny Breyer and he are best pals, and not that tells us much more than they're both great guys. But he's a great quarterback, very talented quarterback over the years, highly touted, highly decorated quarterback, played a lot of football, can throw the thing all over the field for sure, push the ball downfield, does a great job with the reads. Those are things that it's a little different, because it'll probably be a little different offense than what Deshaun was doing, because any quarterback brings his own flavor to the offense. They're going to have a different play caller. How much that's going to change with Ken doing it now instead of Kevin, we just don't know. So we've got to get prepared for the things that we think that they're capable of doing, but mainly we got to get prepared to play our best game on defense and do things right the way we do them.
John, I was going to ask that, in a short week, how much does that complicate when they change? Obviously, quarterback's one thing, but change play callers. Does that force you to watch old Buffalo tape of Ken's offense, or how do you go about that?
Well, no, his influences are in the offense already. I think he's been the offensive coordinator, so he's been putting the offense together. They're always, it's a collaboration. So we understand the plays in there. How he calls them in the game could be different, could be the same. You just don't know. And really, for us, we need to play our defense that called well. That's our goal. That's what it'll be.
John, given the short week, any expectation for Marlon, or any hope Marlon gets out there?
Yeah, I'm hopeful. All those guys are guys that have a chance to be back. So we'll just have to see how it plays out during the week. And the guys that are ready, they'll play. And if a guy doesn't quite make it, then he won't be able to play. And right now, we don't know who that's going to be.
Coach, after watching the tape, what did you see from the secondary against Tampa Bay? Did you see any improvements there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of things in there, but I saw some big plays. I saw a lot of yards after 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. I mean, I think it was 200 yards in the last 7 minutes. So it kind of changes the dynamic. The way I look at it, any play we make that doesn't get us in that place, offense, special teams, and defense, and it never even goes down that road, the game's over. And that's the way it would have been played the last 7 or 8 minutes. So, that's on us, though. You got to close people out. We played a great football game after. I was really happy with the fact that the way we handled the momentum. I mean, you're going in Monday Night Football, hot football team, excited crowd, place is going crazy, and they jump out to a 2-score lead. Just keeping them from going 14-0 was something, Then they go back down the field again, and Marlon puts a stop to it momentum-wise with your favorite word, momentum, puts a stop to it with the interception, right? And then our offense, so we go down, we score 6 straight times on offense, we come up with 6 straight stops on defense. So that's a That's impressive. You know, what I like to do is make the play or so at the end that finishes the game. You know, we did eventually, but anywhere along the way it could have changed that, and that's really where most of those yards came from.
Coach, the number says you guys are 32nd, but along with what you just said, a lot of times you guys are up by so much teams have to throw in the fourth quarter, and maybe that hurts the numbers in terms of the ranking, you think?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I do think that. I mean, it's reality. You know, they're not running the clock out, running the ball in 4 minutes at the end. That has an impact on stats. But what we're looking at is the things that we need to do better, and we know there's a lot of things we need to do better. We need to detail things out better, all 3 levels of our defense, so that we can be a complete defense and a consistent defense. We're capable of it. We're going to get there. I do like the upside of it. I really do. I mean, I feel good about the upside because I think our guys, I believe in our players. I know they're very good players. I know our coaches are very good coaches. And we just got to get there. And when we get there, what does that look like? You know, I'm excited about that.
John, you're in the moment most weeks, and you're probably looking at week-to-week improvement. But do you ever look at the tape of performance like Lamar had on Monday and think about how he's grown as a passer and just his general mastery of offense?
Yeah, I probably do. I mean, I think about that every day, honestly, you know, all the way back, you know, because really what you're trying to do, you know, try to do your job as a coach, all of us, try to do what's best for your players. You know, same thing with the secondary. We're trying to do what's best for our players, secondary linebackers, pass rush. No different for, you know, our quarterback or or Derek or any of our players. You try to build it and put it together in a way that, you know, brings out the best in your players around their skill set. So I feel like I think about it every day, but I don't really look back and think, oh man, it's really great. I probably will someday. I do think it's really great, and I'm really happy and excited. But I think Lamar, I think we think the same way as players and coaches. We're looking at the next game, you know, and you're really only as good as your next game. I know he looks at it that way, and that's how I look at it too.
John, Lamar's been really good against the blitz this season in particular, even much more so than in past years. And obviously the offense is consequently has been good against it. What's your why? What's the explanation to in your?
Yeah, there's. I wish there was one silver bullet to it. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been intentional about it. That's probably the why. You know, we've been very intentional about not just that, but that has been a big one. You know, how we attack people. We're going to blitz us in various ways and play various coverages behind it. You know, and we've tried to build something. And Lamar, I would say Lamar's been the most intentional about it. He's been locked in on that from day one. So it is showing up, and we have to keep it going. And we're going to get different blitzes. Cleveland is a big blitz team. I mean, they're one of the best blitzing teams in football. Jim Schwartz does a great job, and we're going to have to be on point.
John, you talked this past off season. You talked a lot about you, Lamar, and Todd Monken kind of going back and putting this all, continuing to build on this offense. When you think back to some of those conversations and you watch this offense now, do you see a lot of the key components, the principles that you guys wanted to hone in on this season? Are you seeing that when you watch them right now?
Yeah, I am seeing it. You know, I'm excited about it because I think a lot of it is coming. It's being brought to bear by Lamar and by the players, and that was the intentionality of it. But we have 10 games, regular season games left, one at a time, and we've got to keep building on it.
John, do you make changes on the hands team? I mean, with 2 kicks being recovered this year, both against you, like.
Thanks for reminding me of that. I am aware of that.
Like, how do you?
That's one of the plays I was referring to. You gonna recover that kick? It's kind of over. Yes, we will. We'll look at it. You know, not everybody wants to be on the hands team. I can tell you. You really, I mean, it's tough. It's tough duty. But you know, yeah, the rest of the league is over, and we're you know, we've given up 2. Nobody's very envious of that right now. So we'll flip some guys around, try to get some guys in spots that we think can make sure we come up with the next one.
John, when
you look at the level that Ronnie Stanley has maintained this year, do you think it's simply a matter of he's able to make kind of all the physical movements that were hard for him last year with the knee, or why do you think he's playing at the level that he is?
I think that's part of it. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it. He's and also because of the fact that he's been able to train the whole off season fully, so he's just stronger. You know, the ankle, the feet, they're stronger. You know, so his whole lower body's stronger because he's been able to train, and it's definitely showing up.
John, with Derek, he's on a pace, or a historic pace, rushing yards. He also leads the league in carries as well. Are you happy with this workload? We've talked about this before. Are you happy with this workload, It's like 19 per game, I think, right now. But is that kind of what you're
It's
looking
not
for?
30.
No, it isn't.
I will. 30 is kind of a high number. You know, I protected myself on that. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it because, you know, it does mean that we've had a lot of carries in the fourth quarter, which means that we have the lead, and that's what you want. I also feel like over the course of the season, it's going to be okay if it's not 19 or 25. You know, when it's 10 or 12, that's okay too. Other guys will be getting those carries as well, or hopefully we'll be throwing the ball for a bunch of yards. But that's one thing about Derek. You know, you'll never hear him concern himself with that. He wants it. There's no doubt about it. But he wants it because it helps us win. You know, and that's all he ever talks about.
Thanks, Coach.
Great guys. Thanks.